Hey everybody, steveo here for Movies and TVs on the ball, and I was just wondering, what's your thoughts on box office bombs? What movies did you watch before that were films that you know were kind of bombed at the box office or was critically panned, but then actually became two questions. One is, did they actually become kind of classics? I'll give you an example. Fight Club and Treasure Planet. I feel like those films, Treasure Planet bombed because I think the box office didn't do as hot as they wanted to do, and I think also digital or hand-drawn animation was kind of slowly coming out. Leaving film, and people in for real, like, were computer animation. But I feel like that film, a lot of people have now discovered it, and it's become a classic. I think, then you look at a film such as, I've heard Speed Racer had the same thing, just because it was done by the Wachowskis, and it wasn't as beloved by critics. I don't think it did as hot as it was supposed to do, but it's kind of gotten a cult classic. Then there's films such as Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, which was more of a passion project for Christopher Reeves. I think he wrote the story, and it didn't do as hot, and it's become kind of the laughingstock of the Superman movies, from what I've heard. Then you had films like Final Fantasy, which, Final Fantasy, because I think that was technologically enhanced, but it also bombed at the box office. I would have to say that, then there's films that really sort of, because they bombed at the box office, they kind of redid it. Planet of the Apes. I don't think Planet of the Apes did as hot as they wanted to do. The Tim Burton films of Planet of the Apes didn't do as hot as they wanted it to do. Plus, it had like a really weird ending. And then we got really the rise of Planet of the Apes and these new Planet of the Apes films, which I really like. Then you had up here on the right Terminator franchise, which I felt did really well. The first two, and even the third one, was pretty decent for what it was. And then after Salvation, which had they had a really good idea, it kind of went downhill after Genesis and Dark Fate, which Dark Fate was supposed to be a sequel to the original second film. Then you had the original second film, and then, but I feel like, Terminator really had one and two were probably, one and two were probably the best. Then you had Ben Affleck's and Jennifer Lopez's worst film, which was Geely. And I've watched this guy on YouTube that does actually reviews bad movies for a living, or weird movies for a living, and he talked about this film as sort of a very kind of a laughing film. I mean, most of these movies that I talk about that are box office bombs are actually, Razzie award winners. But what film did you watch? What film did you watch that you look at a film and go, "Oh, that film was such a box office bomb," that that I agree with somebody that says, "Oh, this was a terrible film that should have bombed at the box office." And what films did you watch that you were like, "Wait a minute, why did this movie not make enough money?" Or, "Why did the critics hate this movie? I thought it was pretty good." I mean, there's so many films that have done that. I'll give you, I guess the last example I would probably say would be, I think Fight Club, because I think even Fight Club, going back to Fight Club, the DVD had them actually reading the critics' reviews, roasting the film for its 10th anniversary. But I also kind of think Then you have the Adam Sandler films that I think, bomb because they might just because people bomb. They're not Adam Sandler films, but films that star comedians that bomb just because it's got a terrible story, like Meet Dave or something, um, and then comic book films that bombed as well. Your Ghost Riders, which I felt like did a better job of Ghost Rider, or kind of really because I think Ghost Rider didn't do as hot as they wanted to do, and I think Spirit of Vengeance was decent. I haven't seen it, but from what the trailers look like, were decent. We really wouldn't have seen Ghost Rider in the Marvel Agents of Shield. But but what other bomb films movies that bombed? Did you like after the fact, or were surprised that they did bomb? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, like and subscribe, and let's get a dialogue going. And what films do you think will bomb in 2025? Let me know in the comments below as well. As always, see you at the movies. I'm Steve, and see you at the movies. Bye.